Hi everyone, welcome to your March Alchemy Scope. So let's take a look and see what is the macrocycle, what is the narrative that is underpinning the energy set and the growth cycle for all of us, for the collective. So to do that, we look at the Sabian Symbol, and this month's new moon is also an annular solar eclipse. And it's happening at 8 degrees 12 minutes Pisces on the 26th of February 2017. At that point, the Sabian symbol is a jockey spurs his horse, intent on outdistancing his rivals. So if we look at the keynote for this particular symbol, we have intense mobilization of energy and skill in the drive for success in any social performance affected by the competitive spirit. This is talking about every superfluous weight, every unnecessary consideration is to be dismissed in the one-pointed attempt to reach one's social goal. One of the key words for this symbol is self-quickening. So let's take a look. That's the energy for all of us. The collective is going through a self-quickening portal of evolution, okay? And again, the keynote for this symbol, intense mobilization of energy and skill.
Hi, Libra.
In the drive for success in any social performance affected by the competitive spirit. Okay, so let's take a look and see what is the specific narrative for your particular sign.
Libra, welcome to your March alchemic journey. What are you transforming into this month? What is activated? What's the narrative that's growing you? So let's take a look. Now, you can see here the two forms, square, circle. If you've tuned in before in the 2017 year, you know that I've been doing this since the beginning of the year. What this is representing is two branches to the Libra path. It's a bit of a bifurcation. It's part of the evolutionary journey. I'm learning more and more about what this is representing. I saw it coming forward in 2016, early in 2016, and it felt by the end of the year it had happened. And I'll explain more about that in another video. But please tune in to one. Oftentimes the messages are the same or similar but nuanced, but not all the time. So we'll take a look at what's coming forward for you over the course of this Pisces new moon cycle in a minute. But tune in and choose one, because one has a more refined message for you, okay? Now here in the meantime, I'm going to pull the Carolyn Mace Archetypal Growth Edge for you. So let's pull squares first. Square for March. Squares for March. And for circle. Okay, so let's peek at those. Monk, nun, and father. Now, I have to tell you, father just came up for another sign. And we'll talk more about this when we unveil. So we're going to unveil the spreads and then we'll talk about the growth edges. But I will say this is at least a duplicated theme for a large segment of the population. So we'll talk about that. It's very unsurprising. So Libra, if you need more time to tune into the form, please put this video on pause. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and reveal. Okay. Now, let's take a look at what's going on here. We're going to start with the squares. The yellow bordered cards are the Bral Talej. The link is below in the video if you're interested. This is a very powerful deck. It was one of the first decks that I got many years ago. The white bordered cards are my own Siri deck. People have asked if they're for sale. They're not. There's only one. I made this as my language system with Spirit many years ago. So there's only one copy. And then the Druidcraft Tarot is what I'm using in the middle. So let's talk about the squares. Now, in the middle is you putting work to something. And we're going to look at what that is. But the Libra squares are putting work and time into something that they want to have come into manifest form. Now, you can see that the World card came up for you, but it came up reversed. And I have to tell you, that's not a bad thing at all. It's not a negative thing at all, because the World is saying that there is some goal that you have had. There's a dream, there's a picture of something that you have been holding. And it's coming. It's coming. It's not going to come in March, but it's coming. It's arriving. And over the course of the March cycle, you're putting time and effort and energy into attaining it. So you're moving towards some goal. It does look like it has to do with relationships. So in the spiritual sector, we're getting the friendship card. And what this is talking about is tribe, community, your network, like-minded people. That's what you're seeking. And emotionally, you're taking action toward that, meaning emotionally, you're feeling a drive, an energy set at your root that's driving you to connect, maybe form new relationships or maybe heal old ones. But you're wanting to bind and bond with like-minded people. And I do think that you're making efforts to do that over the course of March. The interesting thing, so down at the base, look at this. Love is coming up. And of course, love here is the number 33. So love at the base of the reading, what this is talking about is this is a main driver for everything that is happening in your month. And it's interesting because you're defending it. So love, the idea of moving toward that which makes you happy, that which is aligned with your bliss state, that which is the higher frequency of a love frequency, is something that you're going to be defending. And hopefulness, optimism of love, of relationship, of what's possible with relationships is something that you're going to be defending. So in your mind, and by the way, this can talk about being defensive around it, but because of everything that's coming up here, I think that predominantly there's going to be this narrative of putting effort into relationships. Now, for some of you, how this is going to manifest is that there will be some mental defensiveness happening with regards to hope about love because of the effort and because of the lack of it showing up yet. Now, obviously, for some of you, this is talking about a love relationship, a partner, a partnership that you're seeking, that you're wanting, that you're desiring. But for others of you, this is talking more generally about having love abundant in your life. So again, some of you are going to be defending the idea of manifesting love. You're going to be hopeful, defending the hope that you have for it, that you're going to be eternally optimistic around it. And you're going to be willing to put the effort in over the cycle because you know it is to manifest. But for others of you, you're going to be defensive because it hasn't shown up yet. Okay? Now, let's take a look at what you receive for the growth edge. Now, you're receiving Father, okay? Father is the masculine energy set. And so, as with any quality set, there is the lower frequency manifestation and the higher frequency manifestation. So for you, what's wanting to be matured this month is dictatorial control, okay? Being too controlling, too dominating, okay? And an abuse of authority. So it's about pushing aggressively. It's about domination. And here, and by the way, that can involve friendship. So the growth edge for you could be being dominating or controlling in relationships, having it have to be your way, etc. What the growth edge is for you is a talent, a skill for creating and supporting life, being a positive guiding light within a tribal unit. Squares, this is what this is talking about. You have a capacity to be, if not a leader of a tribal unit, certainly a guiding light within a tribal unit. This is about up-leveling who you are being in relationship. And this is the growth edge. So if you find, if you're aware enough of your tendencies that you can be too dominating and too controlling, then this is the growth edge for you this month, okay? Now let's go over here. Now I am fascinated with this narrative because it does appear to be different. Now not all the readings are the same, but most of them are. Most of them are the exact same narrative, but with nuanced differences. This one I see as a little bit different. So let me explain what I'm talking about. Before we go here, before we go in the center, let's start with the spiritual sector. We have man showing up, and it's also the masculine. Okay, so we have man, protection, safety, leaving, and improve. Now, what I'm going to say here is not going to resonate for all of you, but it will resonate for some of you. And what I want to say is this. Over the course of March for the circles, there is either going to be a man in your life, it could be a partner, a friend, a father, that will be, let's say, overly protective, in a stance of overprotectiveness with regards to somebody moving, leaving, relocating, going away to improve themselves. And I'm thinking this is you. So for some of you out there, there is somebody who might have good intentions, wants you safe, wants to protect you, but is overly protective about you moving on. That's what I'm picking up. Now again, that's not going to resonate for all of you. But the good thing is that you're not going to focus on it. You're not going to focus on their or anybody in your life who is wanting to contain you, wanting to limit you, wanting to pull you back because they're afraid for your safety, or they're afraid for your life, for what path you're moving on. So you're not going to focus on that. What you are going to focus is the Lovers. Now, I will tell you, this card flew out of the deck as I was shuffling for you, for the circles. The Lovers card, number 6, really does have to do, the true meaning of this card has to do with choice. That you're given options, one option over here, another option over there, and the Lovers is talking about choosing according to right action. It's about making the aligned choice. So for you, you're not focused on that. Now, for some of you, again, you are not going to be focused on the aligned choice, and you will have the man in your life who might be overprotective, controlling you. But I don't think that's the case, because at the base of the spread, you have the Yes card. And emotionally, you have the Delicious card. And what this is talking about is you are very tuned in. The circles are going to be tuned in to what makes them feel juicy and alive. And at the base of the reading is the Yes card. And this is talking about a deep optimism that's going to be rooted in the circles over the course of March. It's not that March won't have its ups and downs. Life has its ups and downs. But you're going to be rooted in optimism. You're going to be feeling positive about the future, about your now, you know? So you're going to be feeling juicy and alive, and you're going to be rooted in an optimism and alignment with that. So I love that. And look at this. Energy system. So what I get for a lot of Libra circles over the cycle is that your mind, your thoughts are going to be oriented toward. This is very healthy, I have to tell you, Libras. You're going to be oriented. Your mind will be focused on your energy. And again, I said this last month, and I'll say it again for you this month. I do think a lot of you are going to be focusing in on the law of attraction. I will tell you there's much more to know about the law of attraction, but I think a lot of you are going to be focused there about understanding that what you think and underneath that what you believe comes to be. It's not really the thoughts layered on top of the beliefs. It's the rooted constructs of thought that become what you emanate. And those constructs of thought they're tied. They're part of the web of our feeling nature. And so that is the energy, that thought or belief system and feeling set, which is part of it, is what becomes emanated. And I do believe a lot of you are going to be focused on that. And with the Yes card, you're going to be using your energy in a more mindful and articulate, evolved, and mature way, disciplined way. I think this is very, very good. And again, because of all that, I do think that you are not going to focus on anybody that is being overprotective about your leaving to move on to improve yourself. This is about you improving yourself, right? So, and again, when we look at the right action card, indeed, improving yourself is always the right action. It is the right choice. If it's aligned with your bliss, it is the right choice. Your bliss that is deeply rooted, I will say. Because sometimes we can be in bliss about something, but actually there's more of a process. This comes down to our human design operating system, our energy, and how we make decisions. But bliss is in alignment to our higher frequency state. Now look at this. The growth edge for you over the course of March is Monk None. Monk None. Now this is talking about evolving out of any negative judgments of the physical world and excess piety, right? So it's about moving out of a need to be in extreme limit. It's about moving into selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. That's the growth edge. So because your mind is going to be focused on energy systems and how human energy systems operate, which reflects how the Earth's energy systems operate and nature's energy systems operate, this is going to help you, because what this is saying is focus, focus, become single-minded and disciplined. There's a discipline here, okay? Now, Libra, for both squares and circles, what I've done is I've also pulled the I Ching for you. So to find your I Ching and review it for January, February, March, and April will be uploaded shortly, and to learn your Dakini embodiment, who you are to step into and become this month, and to learn about all of my services, which are diverse, but essentially I work one-on-one with clients to help them understand their soul print identification stories, what is encoded in your life story. And I help with shadow integration. And there's also packages, relationship packages, astrology videos. There's a plethora of information on the different services that I offer. So you can find all of that at www.thealchemyofholism.com/library. Libra, wow, you know what? I do think that this is going to be a powerful month for you. It is going to be a powerful month for many. And, you know, I honor your process. And I'll see you on the other side. Bye.